Yo, what is up, folks? It is noon. It is time. It is time to partake in the Daily Crow. I'm just getting situated here on a Thursday, April the 29th, 2021, folks. Hope you are all doing well. Chris Phillips here as always. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a packed day. We got a packed show. We got a lot to get into here on a Thursday, guys, and I appreciate you all tuning in. Again, it is noon on the dot. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Guys, before we get into everything, I do want to tell you about our friends over at Flex Squad Fitness, because the Daily Crow is presented to you by our friends at Flex Squad Fitness. And CJ Profit, the man behind it all, he's been a certified personal trainer for 10 years. And guys, the reason CJ is so good at what he does is because he's been there. He's done that. He's actually gone through the grind. He's lost the weight. He struggled with his own weight for many years until he eventually lost 85 pounds. Guys, 85 pounds is a lot. I mean, I've probably lost 60 over the last year or two. 85 pounds is a lot of weight, bro. But he lost 85 pounds himself doing the exact same type of training that he currently does at the gym. And guys, at Flex Squad, they do one-on-one and small group training. Their program's a mix of strength, high-intensity interval training, and endurance training. And guys, the goal is to not only help people look great on the outside, but more importantly, make them stronger and more confident on the inside. And guys, like I said, again, he's been there. He's done that. He personally knows the struggles that you're going through physically, mentally, everything. He's going to be there with you, though, every single step of the way, putting together custom workout plans, nutrition plans, everything you need to be successful. CJ is going to help you along with it, guys. The place changes people inside and out. You're not going to regret walking in the door. You'll probably just wish you did it sooner. And guys, right now, they offer a free week for anyone who wants to try out their classes, or 2 free one-on-one sessions to see what they're all about. Or guys, if you go there right now, tell them Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you, you are going to get your first month free. Again, it's a no-brainer if you're in Columbia, Chapin, South Carolina, or across the state, and you're looking for a new personal trainer, a new gym to work out, you're looking to start that fitness journey, look no further than our friends at Flex Squad Fitness in Chapin, South Carolina. Again, that's Flex Squad Fitness in Chapin, South Carolina, my good friend CJ Profit. Be sure to check them out and tell them that Chris from the Spurs Up Show sent you. All right, let's get into it. Thursday, April the 29th, 2021, guys. Hope you're doing well. Phil, Brent Brooks, Travis Royal, I'll see you guys in here. Elizabeth Ballard, what's up? Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I will double check and make sure, yep, the phone lines are indeed open. Taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. Quick reminder, great podcast that dropped this morning, episode 432, talking all things Ole Miss series. Breaking that series down, talking about the Rebels, their season. Of course, South Carolina, the top storylines, what to watch for, key player of the weekend, all that good stuff. And we also have a fantastic conversation and a fantastic interview that I'm really excited about. And on that note, because he's a huge Ole Miss guy, but Barstool Mincy, Ben Mintz, a.k.a. Barstool Mincy from Barstool Sports. Obviously, you know, when you're talking to somebody from Barstool, obviously what they've built, it speaks for itself. You know, it was awesome. It was a great conversation. Mintz was awesome. Mincy was incredible. Again, and talking about the series, he actually gave me a lot of insight and a lot of intel in the series that I probably would not have known otherwise. As far as the status of Gunnar Hoagland. I keep calling him Tanner Hoagland, and I don't know why. The status of Gunnar Hoagland, their pitching staff, their struggles in the bullpen. And it's crazy, guys. You know, I've talked all week how important this series is for South Carolina. I think it's really big. You needed to go 3-1 this week and win 2 out of 3 this weekend. I mean, you could argue it's as big, if not bigger, for Ole Miss. I mean, they've lost 4 straight series, guys, sitting at 10-8 in the SEC. They started 6-0 in SEC play. Since then, have lost 4 straight series. So, I mean, you could argue they need it worse than we do, to be honest with you. So, should be a great series. Going to give you a great weekend of baseball in Oxford, Mississippi, and getting a great conversation with Barstool Mincy. It was awesome to have him on the airwaves. But, yeah, great podcast this morning. Obviously, we got a lot to get into here on a Thursday. NFL draft is tonight. Also, on a personal note, on a business note, because I know you guys care. Got a meeting at 1:30 with a potential new sponsor, investor, whatever you want to call it, partner, if you will, buddy of mine that, really excited about that. We're meeting up at 1:30 for lunch. So really excited for that. Obviously, guys, this is a fully legitimate business, and it takes money to make it go, you know? You know what I mean? So obviously it's exciting. You know, when new partners come on, it gives me new opportunities to expand and create new content and make things even better for you guys. So I'm obviously really excited for that. I'm really amped up, jacked up for that. And, again, we got a great day ahead. I will be dropping my full prediction. for the series, the Ole Miss series tomorrow. Looks like we got a call already. Let's see. Yo, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Appreciate you calling in. What's going on?
Hey, I just got a question for you.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of Luke. As starting quarterback, QB1. But I also like Jason. I don't know. To me, Jason looked better at the spring game, throwing wise and everything. You get what I'm saying?
Do I get what you're saying? That he looked better? You mean?
Yeah, did he look better to me, or was it just me?
I mean, he had here's the thing. Jason Brown looked good. He can spin it. He had 2 throws though that people are making the world. I mean, honestly, if you take away those 2 touchdown passes, Luke and Jason Brown, in my personal opinion, had the same exact day. I mean, just call for what I mean. No, but Jason Brown did look good. No, you're not wrong in saying that Jason Brown looked good. He did. I didn't know what to expect from Jason Brown because I'd never seen him play. He can spin it, and he obviously has chemistry with E.J. Jenkins. I think we all knew that coming in. But yeah, he looked good. He's got an arm. There's no question.
Yes, sir. How you think defense looking this year?
The defense?
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'm definitely concerned with the defense. Listen, I think our defensive line is going to be as good as any in the SEC, but it's the back end of the defense that concerns me with the secondary. And I actually think we have some talented players there, but it just comes down to depth. And I mean, we're going to have to lean on our pass rush. When our pass rush doesn't get there, and I guess a lot of teams could say that, but when our pass rush doesn't get there, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. But I am excited to see the front seven, man, with guys like Jordan Burch and Pickens and, Strawn, who didn't even play in the spring game, and J.J. Enagbare, of course, and Brad Johnson, and, Debo Williams, the new guy at linebacker. And, it's the secondary is the big question. But back to the quarterback thing, man. Again, I don't think people are crazy for saying that Jason Brown looked good in the spring game and there should be a quarterback competition and all that. But, it also blows my mind that people are getting that hung up on. He made 2 throws all day, bro. I'm not saying but it's those 2 touchdown throws that people are getting so hung up on. I just can't believe people are putting that much stock in the little bit we saw. I mean, I'm surprised Shane Beamer came out after the spring game and named Luke Doty QB1. To be totally honest with you, I am surprised. And he said that, hey, it's still a competition. Luke Doty has to continue to hold on to the job. But he named Luke QB1 for better or for worse, whatever. Like I said, am just really surprised that I think what it is, man, to be totally honest with you, and I've said this before, I think it's that we saw Luke Doty at the end of last season, which was a nightmare, and people are putting way too much stock into that when that season was just out of control. I mean, whatever. Nobody could have done anything with it. I think for a true freshman, he actually did some nice things, right? And
yes, sir.
Jason Brown is the new shiny toy. He hasn't messed up yet, bro. He hadn't thrown a pick. He hadn't gotten sacked. He hadn't done anything bad. So people, they're always clamoring for the backup. They're always clamoring for the next guy. And like I said, I mean, my biggest takeaway from the spring game wasn't who QB1 is. I don't give a damn. We don't play tomorrow. We don't play for 5 months. It doesn't even matter who QB1 is at this point. What matters is, hey, now we kind of know what Jason Brown has in the sense, he can throw it a little bit. But drawing that much of a conclusion from the spring game that, he threw 2 touchdowns, Jason Brown's the guy. He's just head and shoulders better. I think that's kind of crazy, to be totally honest with you. I do. I think people are getting so brainwashed by 2 touchdown passes that he had to E.J. Jenkins. The guy was being covered by a 5'9" defensive back. I feel like Luke Doty and I'm not pulling for Luke Doty to win the job, bro. I want whoever is the best option to be the starting quarterback. But again, it's hard for me to comprehend that people are just that caught up on 2 throws that he made. People just think, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I get it, the excitement. Again, Jason Brown is the new shiny toy. He's the sexy pick right now. The backup quarterback's always the most popular guy on campus. Bottom line. So here's my thing. People ask me who's the quarterback. I say it's Luke Doty. You know why? Because Shane Beamer says it's Luke Doty, and I have no reason not to trust Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer's watched every spring practice, not just one spring game. He's watched every practice. I don't think Shane Beamer's a guy who's going to play favorites or play a guy just because to do it. So,
I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
Let you go.
Yeah.
Do you think Shane Beamer? Do you think he's going to be the man to bring the swagger back to Carolina?
I mean, yeah, I think he's going to bring the culture, no question. I think getting guys back in the building like DJ Swag himself is bringing the swagger back to Carolina. I mean, I said this before. I don't know how many games Shane Beamer is going to win at USC. I don't know if we're going to get back to Atlanta. I don't know if we're going to do more than that. But what I do feel good about is that no matter what happens, Shane Beamer will leave South Carolina football in a better spot than he found it. Again, I don't know how long he's going to be here. 5 years, 10, 15, 20, 30. I hope he's here forever, whatever. I think he'll leave Carolina football better off than he found it. Like, if nothing else, the overall vibe and the culture of Carolina football is going to come back. So I do feel good about that. Again, it's, I think certainly he will bring back the quote-unquote swagger to Carolina. You know what? Hey, you know what else creates swagger, though? Winning. So, I mean, those teams 10-13 had a lot of swagger because they were really, really good and they won a lot of games. I mean, we all want everybody in our defense to be like DJ Swearinger. Well, if you're not a good player, you can't be like that. You actually have to be a good football player. So, those teams had swag because they were full of good football players. So, and I'm not saying this team isn't, but like people, it's hard to have swag when you go 2-8. You know what I mean? So, no, I think certainly, man. I think Shane Beamer's reinstilling the culture we all know and love of Carolina football. And yeah, I think brighter days are ahead, man. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate the time.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks so much. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Thanks. Great stuff. 843-790-3377. Let's see. Eight 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I appreciate the call. I love it. Again, with the whole quarterback situation, it like I said, it's kind of silly. I can't believe people feel like there's even enough context to debate who QB1 should be. Like, Jason Brown has thrown 10 passes? How on God's green earth can you draw a conclusion from what Jason Brown did in the spring game and say he's the superior passer and he's going to tear up the SEC throwing the football? I just think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. Justin, what's going on? Keith says, percentage you give for game 1 win tomorrow. A lot of that depends, and I will not make my prediction today until I find out what Ole Miss is doing on the mound. So again, having Barstool Mincy on, he gave me a lot of insight, gave us a lot of insight about Gunnar Hoagland. He might not even pitch, and that's their ace. If he doesn't go, that changes the complexion of this series completely. If he does go, it obviously be a lot tougher. So we'll have to see what, Mike Bianco says today as far as their pitching staff and what that's going to look like. R. Floyd Clark says his poise cannot be ignored. Did Luke Doty not show poise as well? I mean, I'm not saying, again, this is not a scenario of me trying to, I'm pulling for Luke Doty to win the job. But people are highlighting things that Jason Brown did, like his poise. Did Luke Doty not also have poise? I mean, again, if Jason Brown starts, that's fine. I just want the best guy to play. But some of the arguments I'm hearing of why he should be named QB1, they're not adding up to me. They're not all adding up. Lindsey Hagler says, I think people just want something to be excited about for this football season. Yeah, listen, and quarterback competition is a good thing. Competition's great. Iron sharpens iron. Hey, I'm glad Jason Brown had a good game because if it would have just been Luke Doty and everybody else looked terrible, it's like, well, guess we're just stuck with Luke no matter how things go. So Keith says the head coach and the OC have seen every practice, not just the spring game. Doty is number one for a reason. Yeah, guys, listen, you got to trust in Shane. You got to trust in Beamer. He's going to play the best guy. This isn't the previous regime. I know we're all so scarred and hurt from the competition between Colin Hill and Ryan Helinski and this is a new day, a new era in Gamecock football. They're going to play the best guy. They're going to play the guy that gives the best chance to win. Have you guys also thought about when it comes to who they're going to pick as QB1, right? And Travis Harrell, real quick, I'll read this off and then get to my point. He says he looks good, but let's be honest. Let's see what he does when the bullets are flying. This is the SEC. Let's just keep grinding and work bottom line. Courtney Washington says, hello, what's going on? She says, I'm riding with Luke Doty. Okay, so have people thought about this, though, when it comes to quarterback competition? Yes, Jason Brown might be the superior passer. Maybe Luke Doty is not the most elite passer. But are we going to be a passing football team? And I'm not saying, you need to throw the ball downfield. You got to stretch the field. I totally get it. And listen, I think an Amarian Brown could be a big-time receiver for you. I think E.J. Jenkins could emerge. I think there's other guys in that room that could flash and do good things for you. DeCarrion Joyner. But if we're throwing the ball 40 times a game, we're going to be losing every game. That's just not who we are. We want to run the football, establish the run, establish the line of scrimmage. And I don't want to say throw when we have to, but I think we probably want to run the football 50 times a game and throw it 30. if we can get 80 plays off. I think we want to be at minimum 60-40 running the ball, at probably 70-30. Probably 70-30. The wide receiver room is hurting in Columbia right now. We're going to be a run-first team. So in that case, Luke Doty's athleticism and mobility, and especially with the lack of great options you have on the outside, guess what that means, guys? There's probably going to be a lot of plays, a lot of passing plays where guys are covered. And what do you got to do when guys are covered? You have to improvise. You have to get outside of the pocket. You have to scramble. I mean, we all saw it with Connor Shaw. 3rd and 7, play breaks down, get 8 yards. And it demoralizes the defense. It keeps drives alive, and it wins you football games. That is what Luke Doty can do that Jason Brown flat out cannot. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So if you're telling me right now, hey, would you rather have the guy that is a superior passer or is more mobile and athletic in this offense? I'm taking the guy that has the mobility 100 times out of 100. Hey, if we had Bruce and Alshon and Ace and Sidney Rice, and then fine, put the guy back there that can drop back 40 times and throw. But we don't. We flat out don't. We don't. And there's not a big enough gap between the way Jason Brown throws it and Luke Doty throws it to say, oh my God, like we have to go with Brown because his throwing ability is just that much better. I don't see that. I don't see that gap that you guys might see. Again, we're going to be talking about this all offseason. And you know what? I'm not mad about it because it's great for content. I'll be totally honest with you. Elizabeth Ballard, what adjustments do you think Wes can make with those breaking balls? I mean, overall, honestly, just a better job of pitch recognition and fighting them off. Not even getting hits, fighting them off. Competitive ABs. Let's jump back to the phone lines. CJ, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, what's up, Cruz? Hey.
Just hanging out, man.
Just, I understand that. No, and I just hear the comparisons and stuff like that, which is a great thing, but me personally, all I think about, we think about Connor Shaw, that era's gone because the Steve Spurrier era is gone. But you think about, if you look at Satterfield's, quarterbacks that he's dealt with, who he dealt with at Baylor, he dealt with Petty. And, he dealt with, more bigger, mobilized quarterbacks that necessarily weren't mobile, but they had the arm strength to be a NFL quarterback. Not taking anything away from Luke Doty at all. Nothing at all. I think that it'll be great if we do run basically a 2-style running back or a 2-style quarterback system like we run with our 2-style our tight ends. I just think, looking at the broader picture of, size, but, and athleticism. Now, who's more athletic? That's definitely Luke Doty. But when you're talking about something that would fit Matt Satterfield's, basically his profiles of quarterbacks that he's dealt with, even at the Carolina Panthers, the Teddy Bridgewater, who's not really mobile, but has the arm strength. And, thinking about that, it's hard to compare Luke Doty to me as a Connor Shaw because Connor Shaw could easily flip the ball off of his back foot at least 50, 60 yards. We saw that at Missouri, the overtime, game when he was injured. Right. I just think that, just thinking of, the quarterbacks of Matt Satterfield that he's dealt with, the Petties, the Bridgewaters, even going back to when he was at, Temple with Matt Rule. It's just, I think that Jason Brown would fit the way he wants to go about. Not saying that Jason Brown can't be mobilized, Maybe that's something that we haven't seen because playing where he played as far as Division II goes, St. Mary's, he didn't necessarily have to because the competition wasn't there. Right. Now, I will say this. E.J. Jenkins is the only person that I'm worried about as far as trying to compare to get him to start. Should he be a starter? Absolutely not. Can he be? Yes. But the only reason why I say that is even watching the spring game on Saturday, it was tough for him to get off of the ball unless there was a smaller safety, against him. And in the SEC, you're not going to see that at all. Linebackers mainly are more athletic than anybody, just as athletic as your safeties and your DBs, or actually more athletic than your safeties and DBs in the SEC. They're a lot faster, they're a lot quicker, but they're stronger. They get their hands on EJ Jenkins, not taking anything away from him, but he won't be able to get off of the route.
Right.
So I just, just looking at it, it was just me. I was just thinking about it. Like, even when I was there at spring game, Jaheim Bell is a freaking man child when you look at him.
Yeah, he's going to be a beast.
And, him and Nick Muse are going to tear up the SEC whenever they get a hold of it. Because me personally, Nick Muse has been in the SEC for 3 years now, going on. But Jaheim Bell is just a man child of himself. And just putting those two together, I just think that Jason Brown will have more of a connection because he fits the quarterback. Like, if you go and look at the highlights that Satterfield coached on, Jason Brown is one of those guys. He may be shorter, but he fits those quarterbacks.
Well,
that's why I think that the QB battle that we have is perfect for conversation.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'll tell you this. So back to that, there's a lot to unpack there. Back to that original point. I will say this, like, I understand OCs and coaches, they have certain styles of players they coach, and if they're taking that approach, I think that's the wrong approach to take, because you can get so caught up in your system. I think Bobo was that way. We got this system. No, we need to develop a system around the guys we have. I don't give a damn what you've ran in the past or what your quarterbacks in the past have been like, or like, bro, what they did with the Panthers means nothing to me. Like, we have the players we have on our roster. We got to run. I mean, if we're not running the ball 70% of the time, we're not utilizing the best part of our roster, which is the running backs and the offensive line. That would just be stupid. Like, if we go out there and try to throw it 50 times a game. I want to read this quote really quickly, by the way, from Shane Beamer, because I haven't posted this one this week, and I think a lot of people didn't hear this, because you talk about Jason Brown's arm strength versus Luke Doty's and throwing the ball down the field. And I think that's one thing that I find interesting is people want to talk about that, but I'm like, how do we know how far Luke Doty – I mean, I haven't seen him unload on one. Like, I don't know what his arm strength is in regards to, like, can he throw it 50 yards, 60 yards? This is what Shane Beamer said on Sunday after the spring game, talking about the quarterbacks. He made the comment about, Luke Doty being QB1. He said this, quote, this is directly from Beamer, quote, Luke's converted on plenty of deep balls. So if that's your story, find another one, because I have no concerns at all about us being able to hit deep balls down the field for sure. I mean, it's right there. You know what I mean? So again, your points, I'm not saying your points are not valid. You know what I mean? I'm like you. I'm glad there's a competition. That's great. Iron sharpens iron. May the best man win the competition. But the narrative right now, and I talked about this on social media a couple of days ago, the narrative is that Luke Doty can't throw the football. And I'm not trying to sit here and tell you and convince you that Luke Doty is a better passer than Jason Brown or has more arm talent. I'm not even trying to convince you that, but we have to acknowledge how much more there is to playing quarterback. There's a lot more. And in this offense, bro, I don't know that we're going to have the guy to stretch the field down the field anyways. You know what I mean? So, like, you're going to have to play around your strengths. And I just feel like, we talked about this last year. I'm not saying Jason Brown's as slow as, God forbid, Colin Hill, but I think we all agreed last year, and I said it, I felt like week after week, you have to have a mobile quarterback. When you're at South Carolina, and this is like for 99% of schools outside of maybe like Alabama, maybe, but where at Alabama, you got 5-star linemen, you got 5-star receivers, you got 5-star running backs, you got 5-star everything. They can all go win their one-on-one matchups, whatever. You can play 10-on-11 football and your quarterback just stand back there like a statue and just dump it off to his playmakers. You don't have that luxury at South Carolina. I feel like I think you need to be creative. You need a guy that can improvise. You need a guy who can scramble, who can run, who can get 7 or 8 yards on third down, like I said. So, again, there's pros and cons to Brown at this point. There's pros and cons to Luke Doty. But I think people, when they're talking about the quarterback competition, and again, I'm not like making anybody feel some type of way if you think Jason Brown should be the starter, but I just feel like when people talk about it, like, they're not including the whole picture, which is like, think about what we have on the roster. Think about the system. Think about what our team needs more than anything. We don't need a guy that can step back there and throw it 40 times, because that's not what we're going to do, And I saw nothing from Luke Doty that tells me you're talking about EJ Jenkins and Nick Muse. I saw nothing from Luke Doty Sunday that tells me he can't hit those 15 to 20-yard routes down the field with ease. Like there's nothing that I saw that he wasn't out there throwing ducks. So I think it more so, and it's not to like belittle your argument, but I think it more so comes back to, Luke Doty did not throw it great last year. He didn't. And granted, like I said, the season was a shit show. He had no way to go to. Whatever. Whatever. It was just a complete mess. I think it's just Luke Doty is the shiny, flashy new toy. He has not messed up yet. If Jason Brown started against Eastern Illinois and threw a pick, people would be done with him. They'd be like, nope, actually he sucks. I mean, that's just how it goes at the quarterback position. But I just, again, I'm not like, I'm really not biased to one guy or the other. I know people are going to say that I want Luke Doty to start. I really don't, but I just feel like it's not a complete argument. Like, yes, Jason Brown might be the better passer, but I don't think he's that much better of a passer where the pros of playing him outweigh the pros of playing Luke Doty. And the fact that Luke Doty has mobility and athleticism is a huge deal. We're talking about a guy that runs a 4.4. I mean, you need that. I think we need that. I don't know. So we'll see what happens, man. Again, we don't play tomorrow, and there's a full summer and a full preseason camp. But I'll tell you this, man, I'd be shocked if anybody other than Luke Doty is QB1 going in that first game. I really would.
Yeah, and I just think that most of the people are just weighing on the fact of what Luke Doty did last year compared to Jason Brown. Like, if you look at Jason Brown, like I said, it's just talent. Not taking anything away from Division II. I play Division III ball myself, so It's not like talent's not there. I just think that there's a lot of, and me personally, but again, the QB battle is what's going to tell it all. I'm not saying that Luke Doty doesn't have the arm, because we saw the arm strength in high school. That's nothing. We saw him throw the deep ball with ease down there. But the only thing is I think what people are looking at when it comes to Luke Doty is the fact that they think that he is more of a scramble first person. But Satterfield has said it plenty of times in the interviews, especially on, when they're done, the availability interviews, is that we're changing that mindset. We're not, we know that he can run in practice. We're not worried about him running. We want him to sit in the pocket where literally have those zones where he has to sit in the pocket. And this is like the 707 was perfect for it. So, like I said, I have nothing against Luke. I have nothing against Jason. I want Luke Doty to start, because me personally, I want to see him succeed coming from the era that he did, especially being the man that he is. But the fact that if he goes anywhere else, we're going to hate the fact that Luke Doty goes. Right. We're going to hate it, because he is going to completely annihilate wherever he goes, because he is that type of quarterback.
And I'll tell you this, to your point about, being a pocket passer, you are right. Satterfield's talked about all preseason, or all spring, I should say. They're trying to make Doty, who I talked to about Gamecock football, a guy in the building, I won't say his name, but he said that, they're trying to make him more of a pocket passer, a pass first, and you saw that evolution with Shaw. You know what I mean? When he was a younger quarterback, he was a guy, 2 seconds, he's gone. You know what I mean? They're trying to make him more, of course, a sit in the pocket, keep the eyes downfield, even when you scramble, whatever. But I'll tell you this, man, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, because listen, this is no knock on Jason Brown. The kid has talent. He went to St. Francis. He went to an FCS school. If Jason Brown wins this job over Luke Doty, I will be more worried about Luke Doty than I will be impressed with Jason Brown. And that's just me being totally honest. I mean, Luke Doty, you should win the job. You're a 4-star Elite 11 QB. There is no way on this God green's earth you should let a dude come in from freaking FCS St. Francis and beat you out. And again, that is all due respect to Jason Brown. I am not saying guys at the FCS level aren't good, but the fact of the matter is Luke Doty, highly regarded, highly rated prospect. Jason Brown went to St. Francis for a reason, guys. And so did E.J. Jenkins. Whether you like that or not, that is just the truth. I mean, if Jason Brown was this huge prospect.
That goes to show you this.
And
that goes to show you the strength level. And I'm going to leave on this note, too, and just have everybody else to think about. The first year that Nick Muse came from, the same exact level of play that Jason Brown and E.J. Jenkins came from. Look how much he struggled as far as catching the ball.
It's a completely different level. I mean, I think we all can agree on that. It's huge jump.
Yep, a huge jump. But hey, Chris, thanks for taking my call, man. I'm gonna get back on the live show.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much.
All right.
Great stuff. Great stuff. 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Like I said, man, we're going to keep talking about that quarterback competition all summer long. I mean, people love it. We love it. We love it. Let's see. Go back. I probably missed some questions. Cody Gaskin says, I'll give up a little bit of arm strength for mobility. Exactly. I'm the same exact way. Justin says, Shaw, Roach, Blood, Thompson, they're all great quarterbacks at Carolina. If we go back and look, we ran the ball a good bit. We needed to pass. They made those tough passes. Indeed. Yeah. And Justin also said, I feel like Luke has the potential to do the same thing. NFL, college, all quarterbacks now are becoming mobile. You got to be. You got to be. Joseph says, man, I missed the baseball talk. We could save the talk for our shitty football team after our good baseball team's done playing. Football, hey, it's all good, man. We'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. You want to ask some baseball questions? Go right ahead. I'm obviously excited for the series tomorrow. I believe Joseph, also said, I used your podcast to take my ice bath this morning with great power and with great responsibility. If you ever taken an ice bath, you understand the significance. Your podcast was perfect to take my mind off the cold. Hey, Joseph, I appreciate that. By the way, guys, for those who hit me up, I know that as of right now, and I'll double check again, but as of earlier, the show, for whatever reason, was not showing up on Spotify. I think that is a Spotify issue. Oh, it's on there now. Okay. The show is now on Spotify. So, yeah, it wasn't showing up this morning for some reason. So, but it looks like we're good now. Yeah, I know some of y'all were asking. I think that was a Spotify thing. I have no, because we were published everywhere else. So we're good now. Let's see. Brandon Wagner says Doty's faster than Shaw. I would say he's a mix of Shaw and Savell Newton at his peak. Love that. Dropping the Savell reference. Justin says, the thing I don't like about a two-quarterback system is I feel like the quarterback position is one that's of a leader or captain, and it's hard to lead when you're in and out all the time. It will not be a two-quarterback system, guys. It won't. It won't. I promise you it won't. I think that's a terrible idea, too. No, it will not be a two-quarterback system. Leland says, looking forward to the series this weekend. My sister-in-law graduated from Ole Miss, so I need to get this series dub. Got a bold prediction. If we can get over our Game 1 blues, I say we sweep. I love that. Let's jump back to the phone lines real quick.
Nate.
Yo, Nate, what's going on?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Doing well. Appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, man, I just want to speak a little higher level, and I'm going to start off my comments by saying I'm Carolina through and through, you know, and my passion for the sports and the university has turned into just anger due to, like, upper-level management and decisions that have been made.
Mm-hmm.
You look at Muschamp was allowed to linger way too freaking long. He should have been fired after UNC. And now in my opinion, this is not going to be popular, but Beamer was hired by the public. And then now we have Frank Martin, who's going to be allowed to linger after clearly producing no results, COVID or not. Like that, to me, that's not an excuse.
Right.
And then Beamer, who it's his dream job, right? So if something's your dream job, you bet your bottom dollar, like you're paying attention to this Muschamp debacle, right? You got your eye on it. You're like, oh, what's going to go on here? And, you know, Muschamp got in trouble because he ran his mouth so much about who's doing what, who's doing great, this, that, and the other. And then obviously it didn't line up on the field. So, you know, my thing with Beamer is like, hey, I haven't paid as close attention as I usually do, but to say that I usually pay probably closer attention than 90% of people. But like, don't sit there and talk about the wide receivers, how you don't see the lack of talent. Just say we got a lot of work to do. We're working to get better every day. Because guess what? You came out in the spring game and they're dropping balls like crazy again. Like that's gonna get the fan base very frustrating with you. I know you're Shane Beamer and your thing is to, you know, be personable, you know, be authentic. I get all that, but there's sometimes when the coach speak needs to happen. And so, you know, we go through the spring game and I get it. Like I get the Doty thing, I get the mobile quarterback. I get that he's an elite kid off the field, right? Like he's a leader. I really believe that. Like the team is following him. Like that's a big thing with Doty. And sometimes I feel like the problem with that is if the talent ends up not lining up, right? If it ends up, and listen, I hope Doty dominates. I hope he dominates. But if it doesn't line up, what tends to happen when the person is so great and the talent doesn't quite get there, it lingers too long, right? And obviously we're not to that point yet. But for you to come out and Jason Brown did not get the same amount of opportunities. Did not.
Yeah, I mean he was the fourth quarterback to come in. I mean, people forget he was literally the fourth guy to see the field.
Right. So if we would have went Doty Brown back to back and continued that, what would the stats be? I don't know, right? But I will say this, man. Doty on that jet right, where he almost hit the DB in the hands and threw that pick almost. Like, you got to make that. I'll come out there and make that throw 8 out of 10 times. Like, you know, I'm 36. So, like, you got to be able to make that throw, especially if your thing is mobility. Like, when you get out on the wing, man, you got to be able to dump that ball over the DB's hands. Like, and so I start to, and what does Beamer do? After all this, and he saw it too, and I get it. Like, I get it. There's a ton of variables here. But you come out and name a starting quarterback after every indication has been, based on his comments preseason, is that Doty's been getting almost all the snaps and that someone else has to make it a competition. Well, guess what, Beamer? Someone just made it a competition, at least in the public's eyes. So for you to come out and say, he's our son, just shut up, man. Just shut up and say we're competing and we're getting better. Like, my frustration is with management top to bottom. That's my rant.
And I think, you know, and just to your point, I think the frustration will continue no matter what until we win games. And that's fair. That's fair. It's fair. It's very fair.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the pass catchers, obviously, like I said, I think we're in trouble. I think we got to find a way to get, obviously, Jenkins his matchup, because, man, that's tough, right? It's tough to the point RJ Roderick just pushes him in the back. Like, RJ, man, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, bro? Do you want to play? That is stupid. Like, that is it cracks me up. You know, I think Mullins and Bell, you got to get all three of these guys on the field because, A, I think they can catch, and B, I think they are a threat with the ball in their hands.
Well, and it's back to the it's back to the point. I feel like you're kind of making it. It's to the point that we don't have a lot of great pass catchers. So for me, I'm willing to give up some arm strength to the guy that can improvise and run a read option and do all that, because that's what we're going to have to do. I mean, we're not going to be able to pass it 40 times a game, but we don't have wideouts that are going to go out there week after week and beat guys one-on-one and get open. I mean, unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but as of right now and watching the spring game, again, you made the point, like, the wide receiver room is hurting. We're going to have to go recruit some guys. So I think, you know, just if you look at it that way, I think Doty fits that better than what Jason Brown would. I mean, he's just not mobile, you know, and Colin Hill had a decent arm. Like, he had a decent arm, but he was a statue. I mean, and it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. You got to have a guy that can run, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. Well, I don't give a damn who starts. I just want to win games. So,
yeah, I'm the same way, man. I don't care, but I do want to see competition. I understand you may have walked in and Doty.
I do too.
He's just getting to know Brown.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows Brown yet, and the team's not really following him yet. But it needs to be a freaking competition and not like, oh, Doty, you know, like, just shut up and say.
Well, here's the question. Here's the question. Here's the question I'd pose to you, though, is because Shane Beamer did say, you know, this isn't like in you know, we're not writing this in blood. You know what I mean? Like, it's still. Luke's got to hold on. It's still going to be competition in the fall. So if Luke Doty is the starting quarterback against Eastern Illinois the first game, are you and other fans going to trust that there was a legitimate, fair competition in fall camp and Luke Doty is starting because he won that job fair and square?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a great question, and I don't know.
Because I feel like the way people are talking, like, you say that, but the only way you're going to believe and be happy with, oh, there was a competition, is if Jason Brown takes the job. And I don't think that's the case. I mean, I even said this with Muschamp. Like, as much of a dumbass as he was and a shit bum and a terrible head coach, I'm like, guys, do you really think these people in this building that are getting paid millions of dollars and coaching is literally their livelihood, do you really think they're going to start the guy who's worse just to do it? I mean, you can't believe that. I mean, even Muschamp, as bad as he was, That was my whole argument with the Colin Hill, Ryan Helinski thing, which maybe that would start another argument and debate in your mind. But like, I was the same way last year. I don't care who starts. Just play the guy who gives us the best chance to win. Ryan Helinski, he has the story and he played for us already. But like, even again, as much as Carolina fans might hate Mike Bobo and they might hate Will Muschamp and they may not like that Luke Doty was named QB1 after the spring game. I mean, do you honestly think Shane Beamer and Marcus Satterfield and those guys are going to self-sabotage their own careers by playing a guy they're just playing favorites instead of playing a guy who deserves a start? I just don't see it. I really, really don't.
No, I 100% agree with you, right? And so I think a little bit of along the same topic was Dak Joyner last year, and everybody loves Dak Joyner. Like, Dak Joyner's a phenomenal kid, right?
Right.
But, like, everyone wanted to know why he didn't get more resources at quarterback, why he didn't get – it's like he's not a quarterback. I mean,
right.
You can tell Dak Joyner, in my opinion, in 2 seconds throwing the ball. Like,
see, people, and that's the thing. People want to say – yeah. I was just going to say, people want to say that, oh, there wasn't a fair competition. But, like, again, back to my point was like the only way people are going to say there was a fair competition is if the backup wins the job. No, there was a competition. The guy just didn't win the job.
Well, here's the thing, Chris. In our mind right now, we have 2 touchdowns. We had a guy that said, hike the ball, watch this, and he slung it, and it was a touchdown.
Right. And that's that. Yeah. Everybody's hanging their hat on those 2 touchdowns. I totally get it.
If we don't see him and he's on the bench and Doty struggles, of course.
Yeah.
Guess what, Beamer? You're gonna have to throw him out there.
That's what comes with that position. Absolutely. Here's the thing: if Luke Doty wants to shut everybody up, he goes out there against Eastern Illinois and throws 3 or 4 touchdowns, and nobody will say a word. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what he's got to do.
I agree, obviously.
Yeah.
But I will say, Amarian Brown, I think, is going to be a huge piece of this.
Yeah, I agree.
His film, that dude is electric.
I'd be shocked if he's not our number 1. I'd be totally shocked, to be honest with you.
He's got it. I mean, I don't know how Georgia Tech let him walk out the door. Like, they should have broke some rules. I don't know what he wanted or what happened, but we gotta skirt the NCAA on this. But to let him walk out the door, we gotta be able to get him the ball. And my biggest issue with Doty, it's flat out, it's accuracy. Like, he is not accurate in my opinion. I mean, he's not accurate on easy stuff sometimes. That ball to carry on Joyner was in traffic and kind of a dangerous throw. I mean, that's just the way I feel about it. And, you know, last year he lost he didn't lose. He ended back-to-back games last year not seeing that backside linebacker and throwing that pick. And it's just like, he's got I don't know, man. I got a lot of questions, but the problem with us as Carolina fans too is, man, there's too much hype. Just everybody shut up. Let them play. They need to get better.
Well, hey, and you know what? With all due respect, and to be fair, it's the same thing with Jason Brown. Because I tell you what, if Jason Brown wins the job and he might, do fine against Eastern Illinois and ECU, but what happens when he gets punched in the face at Georgia? Everybody's going to be like, he sucks. He's not ready for this level. It's just rinse and repeat, man. So I trust me, I understand the frustration. I understand the frustration because we're coming off of the scarring of the last 5 years of getting our hopes up and saying this is our best team and this and that and our D-line and our quarterback and it all just crumbles. So I totally get, trust me, I 100% get where you're coming from. I really do.
I think Doty's a little different because we're starving for mobility, right? We've been starving.
Well, and I think you just need it, man. You look across college football, I think you need it. At bottom line, I think you have to have it. So.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for taking the call, man.
Yeah, great stuff. I appreciate you calling in, man. Take care.
Yep. Bye.
Good stuff. All right. 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Robbie Davis texts in and says, Chris, I've said this before. I will say it again. The best quarterback will start come September. Go Cox. Love your show. Your friend Robbie Davis. He also says, we also need to recruit. That's all how you build a winning program. We've done it before. We can do it again. Robbie Davis, I appreciate the text, man. And you're absolutely 100% right. You're 100% right. Cade text in Sling Blade. I could do a whole lot better if they kept me. Yeah. Yuncle Boudreaux, live stand-up comedy. He texted me Friday, May the 7th in Orangeburg. I will get this out, Yuncle Boudreaux. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Woo. Yep, this quarterback thing is going to be we're going to be talking about this all offseason, aren't we? We're going to be like one big dysfunctional family. Jay Rowland comment said, too bad you don't have your mask on. Jay, you are the most miserable son of a bitch I've ever seen on social media, man. I don't know. Jay can't comment anything that doesn't have to do with politics or masks or coronavirus or let's just talk sports, Jay. Let's just talk sports. This is a piece of advice for you, Jay. When you put out negative energy in the world, you're going to get negative shit back. So if your life is miserable, that's probably why. Just a piece of advice, man. And maybe you're just a troll on social media. I don't know, but there's a reason I muted you on Twitter like a year ago. Come on, man. Lighten up, loosen up. Let's have some fun. Dirt Heckler says, I feel like nothing's going to make this guy happy. No, I mean, it's fine. I get the frustration. Dirt also says, why are people resting on like 2 throws? Dude needs to calm down. I agree with you. I agree with you. And I will say this, here's the thing. You're like, hey, Jason Brown threw the 2 touchdowns, Luke threw 0. I mean, you could argue that Luke Doty had that pass to Jaheim Bell to start the game. He gets tackled at the inch line. What happens if Jaheim Bell gets in the end zone? I mean, are we talking differently today? We're splitting hairs here, guys. We're really splitting hairs. Travis Earl says, we are starving for playmakers. That's fair enough. That's fair. Brandon Wagner says, I'd be disappointed if Josh Vann wasn't number 1 or number 2 and doesn't step it up this year because of how highly recruited he was. I don't get it either, man. I really don't. I really don't get it either. Kevin C. says, Little League World Series consolation games are more meaningful than a spring game, especially one with 23 players sidelined. RELAX, relax. CJ Curry says, we need to recruit better offensive linemen as well. Yeah, I mean, I think the O-line should actually be a strength this year. Joseph says no one needs to wear a mask in a room by themselves. It's the sheep like you that think there's still a pandemic going on. Relax, number 1. I don't feel like getting into it. I think Jay is giving me shit because I wore my gator for my social media content yesterday because I'm trying to push that we are selling them. Because, hey, guess what? Masks probably aren't going anywhere. And again, you guys know, I don't get into those conversations. I really don't give a damn. I just want to see a Pat Willie B, however we do that. So, but hey, if I can sell neck gaiters that are cool, that have Gamecock logos on them or our logos on them, I'm going to sell them. So, hey, if you got to wear a mask, if you got to wear a gator, you might as well wear one that looks cool that's garnet and black, right? I mean, I'm just saying, you can either bitch and moan and complain and worry about things you can't control, or you can focus on the things in your life you can control and put a smile on your face and put positive energy in the world and put value in the world and watch the quality of your life improve, my friend. Watch the quality of your life improve. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Again, I don't get into politics on this show, and I'm not getting into it. I don't know how people function in their daily life and worry about that shit. I just don't. It's not me. It's not me. Guys, if I was somebody that loved that and was obsessed with it and I had this crazy opinion, I really do believe the truth comes out eventually and that'll come out of somebody. I truly don't give a damn. I'm a sports guy. I lock in on sports. Let the politicals politic. Let the other people do whatever. I'm going to do my thing and stay in my lane. You know what I mean? So you never have to worry about that with me. All I want to see is a packed Willie B and a packed Founders Park and a packed CLA. That's literally it. And we all want that. I don't give a damn how that has to happen. I just want that to happen. So, let's see. Brian Welch says, y'all go back and watch the games Doty played in last year as an experienced freshman. He will pull the ball down and scramble, but he's not afraid to step up in a collapsing pocket, sling the rock, and take a chance downfield with his arm either. And again, you make the point. True freshman. And under Muschamp, under Bobo. I'm sorry, but I take nothing from those last 3 games when it comes to Luke Doty and his capabilities as our starting quarterback. So, anyways, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. The phone lines have been electric today. I appreciate you guys. That's what makes this show what it is, man. People calling in, us having the back and forth banter. That's what makes this show what it is. I'll tell you this, guys. I'll tell you this. If we're having this much of heated debate, if you will, or banter in April, imagine when September gets here. My Lord. Bro, the Daily Crow is going to be literally popping on another level. I can't wait for it. Absolutely can't wait for it. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Baron Gaston, are the Braves going full capacity in May? Yes, May the 7th, 100%. LSU is also going 100% for all outdoor sporting events and tailgating. So, it's Yeah. So, I mean, it's I think we all know what's coming. Everybody's going to be 100% capacity for football season. That's what we're building up towards, which is what we all want, which is great to hear. Brian Welch, Electric Factory, South Carolina. Elizabeth Bowers is the Behind the Beak was really good. I appreciate that, Elizabeth. It was a little bit long, but I mean, it was a lot of content. I mean, we all 3 baseball games and a spring game. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I truly appreciate that. Again, guys, questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Savannah Webster says less than 4 months from kickoff week 0. Let's see. Hey, guys, 128 days until kickoff for South Carolina. So in 28 days, we are starting our countdown to kickoff. 100 days. I'll ask you guys, because I'm sure you guys are all familiar. I normally do the countdown to kickoff starting in 100 days, and I put up the highlights. Should I just do that or do something different? I kind of want to do something different. Dirt Heckler, Ole Miss breakdown is tomorrow's podcast. No, so Ole Miss breakdown is today's. So full series breakdown as far as breaking down Ole Miss, top storylines, what to watch for, key player of the weekend, all that good stuff. And then also Barstool Mincy, who is a big Ole Miss guy. He helped me break down that series even more. Tomorrow's show will be the prediction show. So I'll break it down a little bit more, but I'll give my prediction, lock it in for how I think the Gamecocks are going to fare this weekend in Oxford. But Dirt, today's show is the one you want to listen to. Ole Miss series preview on today's show. So be sure to check it out. And like I said, Mincy gave a lot of great insight on Ole Miss because he's a diehard Ole Miss guy, like I said, but he gave a lot of great insight on Ole Miss and how their season's been going and some of the struggles they've been going through. And they lost Tim Elko out for the season, a huge guy for them. Do you guys know Ole Miss leads the SEC in batting average, though, hitting .301 as a ball club. So pretty solid team offensively. I say the same thing I said last week. We're going to have to swing it to win. We're just going to have to. You can't expect to win these games 2-1, 3-2, all 3. You got to swing it to win. But learned a lot about their pitching staff. Gunnar Hoagland, he didn't even pitch last week, having some arm issues. Does he go this weekend? Also, their bullpen, been a huge liability. So, and they've lost 4 series in a row, guys. Hell, we've only lost, 3 series all season? They've lost 4 series in a row. So, it's a big weekend for Ole Miss, man. This is a huge, huge weekend. Ben Webster, crazy that Arkansas is the home run leader, but another team has the best batting average. Yeah, I mean, because think about it. It doesn't translate to home runs equals batting average, and it's not like Arkansas is that far behind. I mean, we obviously know they all still swing it. Brian Welch, I'm so glad we play week 1 in college football this year instead of having to wait until week 2 like last year. Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not rushing away. I love baseball, as you guys know. I'm not rushing away baseball season or anything of the sort. But yeah, I mean, of course, we're all pumped for football. I mean, we're all ready for it. We actually got some Thursday night games tonight. Auburn, Georgia on the SEC Network, and Kentucky, Tennessee. I might tune into that Kentucky-Tennessee series because we play both those teams. I'm curious to watch that. It's crazy that Tennessee is ranked 4th in the country. Like, it just feels weird for Tennessee baseball to be ranked that highly. Like, I mean, I remember when I was in college and even before then, Tennessee was trash. They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible. See you guys taking your questions, comments, calls. Less than 10 minutes to go. Hope says I can see Carolina losing this series this weekend and taking the series next weekend against Mississippi State. If they do lose this series this weekend, this would be the first time the Gamecocks have lost back-to-back series all season long. So, I mean, obviously none of us want that to happen. Savannah Webster, did UT beat Vandy? No, Vandy took 2 of 3. Vandy took 2 of 3. Vandy took 2 of 3. Indeed, indeed. Sorry, guys, just doing something real quick on my phone. Let's see. Cody Gaskins, how about Tennessee losing the midweek game? I did not even know that, actually. I did not know they lost the midweek game. Yeah, who'd they lose to? Oh, shoot. Let's see. Brian Welch says, I can't wait to finish off the sweep against those losers from the upstate on May the 11th. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, that's going to be fun, man. I can't wait. I mean, we obviously do all the midweek breakdowns and previews and recap. That's going to be an awesome. And hey, we're going to do a live stream watch along because it's a road game because I'm not traveling up to Clemson for a Tuesday game. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not doing it. So, Cody Gaskins, they lost to Lipscomb 4-1. Wow, I did not know that. Oh, yeah, Dirt, you're right. Vandy and Texas were back-to-back. You are right. I forgot about that. I get the first back-to-back in SEC play. That's what I meant. You are correct, sir. Let's see. Henry Stone says more ACC teams projected to the field than SEC. Is that true? I did not know that. I did not know that at all. Savannah Webster, can't wait to be the only person booing tonight at the number 1 pick. Yeah, unfortunately. Yep, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that's probably going to happen. So, like I said, guys, quick reminder, episode 432 did drop this morning of the podcast. Full breakdown of this Ole Miss series, breaking down the Rebels, of course, talking, South Carolina weekend rotation, what to watch for, keys to the series, all that good stuff, most important player, all of that's good stuff, key player of the weekend, whatever. Also, great conversation with Barstool Mincy of Barstool Sports. Really appreciate him taking the time, guys. We talk about his path to Barstool, Dave Portnoy. Of course, he's an Ole Miss guy, so we talk about the Ole Miss series. Really good intel from Mincy, obviously, on that series and everything to do with the Ole Miss Rebels and how their season's gone to this point. But a really good show in episode 432. Like I said, guys, a quick reminder, live stream watch along will go down tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll go live tomorrow at 7:15, first pitch at 7:30. Saturday, we'll go live at 6:45, first pitch at 7. And then Sunday, of course, we will go live at 12:15 with first pitch being at 12:30. So, very exciting stuff. Very, very good stuff. Really excited for that. Cody Gaskins, why did he say Dave got after him for a tweet? Couldn't understand what he said. I think it was because he said he's going on vacation, and to insinuate that you're going on vacation when you're in the content creation world, when it never sleeps, I don't think he got in trouble. They just gave him shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, Dave went after him, whatever. So it's all in good fun. I mean, it's all in good fun. I mean, you know how Barstool works, man, how they operate. So, you say you're going on vacation. It's like, okay, you're going to take some time off. Cool, bro. You're like the new guy taking time off. Really? So, yep. Brian Welch, prediction on the series win-loss record for the Final Four SEC series of the year. I'll tell you this. I'm not going to make an official prediction or anything, but you need to just find a way to go 6-6. 6-6 or better. 6-6 or 7-5, you're golden. The goal is to get to 17-13 or 18-12 in SEC play. Obviously, if you can do more, that's fantastic. But that is the goal. Get to 17-13 or 18-12. This team's more than capable of doing that. If you can do that, though, you assure yourself of hosting a regional and having a lot of fun in the postseason. Final question, Sean Wells. Do you think Wes Clark gets out of his slump with the game he had on Tuesday? I think so. Listen, Wes is a good hitter. Good hitters are going to hit. I expect him to hit all weekend long. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to run, like I said, Daily Crow and podcast tomorrow. Of course, go listen to the show that dropped today. And you guys have a fantastic Thursday. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it, guys.